Hey, what's up, producers? Joshua Casper here, and I'm wondering if you are anything like me, and that is sitting around day after day and wondering to yourself, was Beethoven wrong? He obviously wrote the Fury Elise with a piano, which is like, and an A minor, which is like so basic, right? It's just the white keys. So I'm wondering, is it better with a pluck? And better in something more like a G major and a blues hexatonic scale. So I think it probably is, and Scalar's going to help us figuring out by transposing the Fury Elise MIDI into that scale, and we can use Scalar's built-in sound for a pluck, and we can test the theory. So let's go ahead and try it out. All right, so this is the Fury Elise MIDI. It's like, meh. But what we can do is, first of all, we can change the scale. Now, I'm going to come in here to scale, right? And I'm going to come into, let's do G, and let's do the major blues hexatonic. And I'm going to go ahead and click that. Now, the next thing we need to do is actually turn on key locking. And key locking's got a number of different effects. It's up here in the top. And we've got scale notes mapped, scale notes only, and there are a few others, but we're only going to focus on these first two for now. Scale notes mapped will take any incoming MIDI and move it into the scale that we've selected. So in this case, the G major blues hexatonic scale, well, actually shows us with these locks, it's saying any notes that come on these keys are actually outside of the scale. And when we have this particular scale notes mapped feature enabled, it will push the notes that are wrong into the scale, either by pushing them up or down intelligently by a half step to fit into what we're working with. So now it should sound a little bit different and a little bit better, in my opinion. So that's with it. Without it. Do you hear the difference? Now, the other one that we have here is scale notes only. Now, when I do that, it went from locked to a little X. Now, what it's going to do is if a note comes in that's outside of the scale that we've chosen, again, in this case, the G major blues hexatonic, it just won't play it. It's just going to skip over that note. So that's what this sounds like with that enabled. I think they both sound actually pretty legit. That sounds almost like an EDM track, a synth line melody that we've just made from the Fury Elise, and it's fantastic. So let's throw a pluck on it. I like the distance one here. Let that load up. Now you can imagine if you drop a hard EDM style 4 to the floor with some white noise there, it's going to sound pretty lit. But I want to do one final thing. I mean, that's the gist of it, and I think that's such a powerful feature of Scalar, and I'm obviously picking on Beethoven here, is better than me, unfortunately. But I just wanted to show you the power of this. You can do this with any MIDI into any one of the many, many scales available right inside of Scalar. It's that easy. We've already done it, but I want to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to come back to scale notes mapped. I'm going to make another MIDI track here in Ableton Live. Control-Shift-T will do that. And then on the ends, we want to take Scalar. And on the second drop down, we want to go Scalar again. Make sure to do that. Otherwise, you're going to get just the Fury Elise MIDI over and over again. You got to get the MIDI out of Scalar, not pre or post effects. I'm going to set it to in. I'm going to hit record. I'm going to come back to here to the beginning and just record. And if we come over here now and I come back to auto and I highlight this and come down here in Ableton Live, we can see the MIDI, right? It's all blue. But if I highlight both of them as of Ableton Live, I think 10, or it might have been 11, we can actually see the note differences. So the blue is the new scale that we chose in Scalar, and the pink is the original. So where there's just pink, that means they overlap. They're playing the same notes, and you'll just see that there's a few different notes being triggered outside of the normal scale because of what Scalar is doing. So again, just a really, really cool and very, very powerful feature, whether you're trying to transpose any one piece of MIDI into another key to fit your track, or if you want to do some creative stuff like with removing the dead notes there and just having it be like a melody that we've extracted from the Fury Elise. Just a phenomenal feature that I wanted to share with you in case you didn't know it. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.